Hey, what is up? This is Gabriel. I wanted to do this recording real quick to show you what it looks like to work with these AI code generation tools that I've been working with for the last year. So what we're going to do is just create a super basic Macintosh app in Xcode. Then we're going to open it in Cursor AI, which is a code editor which can read your code and understand your entire code base and make changes to it as you chat with it in natural language. And I'll show you how quickly we can spin up a really cool Conway's Game of a Life app. And if by any chance there are any bugs, we'll debug it in natural language with Cursor AI. So let's start by going to Xcode and creating a new project. That would just be an app and just call it temp4. As you can see, I've ran through these steps a few times now. Okay, so here we have a very basic Xcode app. You can see it is it's a Swift app with Swift UI. It built the UI right here. It previews it and shows what it is. It's just a little window that says hello world. If we press play up here, the build will succeed. And you can see this is exactly what we just built. A simple window that pops up with a graphic that says hello world. Okay, so now what we want to do is jump over to Cursor and open this. So you can see this is a text editor. Over here are the files, temp4, temp4 test, temp4 UI tests. You can see those are the exact same files that we have over here. So it's the same code base open in two text editors. We have it open in Xcode, we have it open in Cursor. Over in Cursor, what we want to do is open a file such as the content view, which is where it says hello world. You can see that in Xcode right here as well, hello world. And then we want to open the side panel here, which allows us to chat, compose new files, debug, etc. Right now you can see it's only in this one file, but we want to remove that, and then you can see down here you can search in a single file or in the entire code base. So the first thing we're going to do is we're simply going to say, what does this code do, question mark, and then say code base. And so you can see it's reading the files, and then it's going to start spitting out a bunch of text here, which I think we can even scroll to the top before it's done, but you'll see it does it that quickly. So there, that quickly, what did it do? Let's scroll to the top and see. It searched through all the files, you can see, so it searched through all of the files that were generated when we created the Xcode app, and then it gives us this. So it says, it appears to be an Xcode project for a basic Swift UI application called temp4. Let me break down the key components. Here's the main app structure, and that's definitely accurate. This is the main entry point of the app and sets up the basic app structure with Swift UI's app protocol. That's correct. Number 2 is the content view. This is the basic Swift UI that displays a globe icon and hello world text. And of course that's correct because remember we already saw the app. Oh, let me close that, sorry, timer. Remember we already saw the app. It was a globe icon and the hello world, so that's accurate. Project configuration, it says it's set up to work on iOS, Mac, and Vision. That's true because we did a generic app. It shows that it comes with tests. It also talks about security. It's sandboxed for security, and then even asset configuration about the different app icons, etc., etc. So it says this is essentially a default template Swift application that Apple provides when creating a new project. It's a cross-platform app that can run on iOS, macOS, and visionOS with basic Hello World functionality and testing infrastructure in place. The app currently just shows a simple screen with a globe icon and hello world text, but it's set up with all the necessary infrastructure to be expanded into a full application. So that is 100% accurate. It didn't miss a single thing. So that gives you a sense of it's able to immediately go across 13 different files, make sense of all of them, all of the different components, what they are, where they're located, what it looks like when it loads, what platforms it works on, how the testing infrastructure works, how the security works, and even how the app icons are configured, and then give us a high-level summary of it. That's pretty impressive. So let's take it to the next level. Please update the UI to display 3 buttons which read start, comma, stop, and random. New line. Above the buttons should be a grid of squares which can display Conway's Game of Life. The buttons should interact with the grid appropriately. Okay, let's see what it does. All right, so it's spitting some stuff out. Let's give it a second. So you can see it's generating quite a lot of code here. All right, let's see what it says. Let's scroll to the top. I'll help you modify the content view to create Conway's Game of Life. We'll need to 1. Create a grid model. 2. Update the UI with the grid and buttons. 3. Add the game logic. So first, let's create a grid model. So it creates gridmodel.swift. You can see it imports foundation. It creates a grid model that has properties such as grid and size and timer. A knit function. You can toggle an individual cell, it looks like. You can randomize it. You can start it. You can stop it. It's got a private step function where you can see it does nested for loops. And then if-else statement, control flow. It's got count neighbors. This is for Conway's Game of Life. So let's go ahead and accept this. At the top of each block of code, you can hit apply. Let's do it here. So it created an entirely new file. You can see down here it's green, and it added it. This is like get. It's saying yes or no, we need to accept it. So it just added all that code. Let's go down a little bit farther under that block. Now let's update the content view. So let's apply this. Over here again, you can see if it has a change, you want to hit yes to accept it. And if not, if it's just new stuff, it'll be green. Okay, we did that. And so this implementation creates a 20 by 20 grid of cells, allows you to click cells to toggle them alive or dead. You can start the simulation, you can stop the simulation, you can randomize the grid. It follows Conway's Game of Life rules. Any live cell with 2 or 3 live neighbors survives. Any dead cell with exactly 3 live neighbors becomes alive. All the cells die or stay dead. The grid wraps around the edges, toroidal surface, and updates every 0.3 seconds when running. And then it gives us steps on how to use it. So now let's jump back over to Xcode. And let's just see how it looks if we refresh the preview. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I can even interact with it in the preview. I can add my own black squares. I can hit randomize, and it'll give me random squares. I can hit start, and it runs Conway's Game of Life. And you can see they're wrapping around the edges like it said it would. I can hit stop, and then of course up here I can build it, and then I can see it actually launches the app. So here it is. This is the actual app. You can see it created the grid. I can create my own little creatures by clicking and toggling and hit start. I can come up here and interact with it and add squares in real time while it's doing its thing. And then of course I can just randomize it while it's running in real time. I can stop it, randomize, start it. So that's pretty cool. That gives you a sense of however long we've been recording. It hasn't been that long. It's only been a couple minutes. And that shows you how you can literally spin up a template app using Xcode, jump on over to Cursor, ask Cursor, what does the app do? It'll scan all of the code, give you a high-level overview. You can then tell it what you want it to do. It'll spit out the code. You can accept it all using sort of get functionality, whether you want that block of code or not. And then you can, literally run it. And so again, this goes back to what I was saying the other day. It's not that software engineers are being replaced. It's that engineers are being amplified and accelerated. So, when you read about Meta or Salesforce or whoever who says they're not hiring any engineers and they're getting rid of engineers, really what they're saying is instead of having people sit around and write code all day, they're going to interact with apps like Cursor or whatever tooling they have internally, and they'll be able to dialogue with an AI agent, a dev agent, and they'll be able to generate code. So basically, instead of being a code monkey all day, a software engineer, I'm much more of an engineering manager now, and I work with these AI agents, and I architect the solutions that I want. I dialogue with the agents. They create all of the individual puzzle pieces. I assemble them. I make sure the app works. I deploy it to production. I interface with users. I interface with managers or upper level people in different companies, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what the future of software engineering looks like with AI code generation tooling. Thank you.